Hey guys, welcome back to the most anime you've ever seen in your damn life.
Look at this car. This is like an anime.
It's
Looks
not.
just like it. Just last episode we were talking about how they've added more Narutos to Fortnite. Which I refuse to call them anything else. But actually it's kind of funny. I do know one of them is called Sakura.
Oh yeah, the one that everyone loves.
That's the old one. That came out in the first pack of 4, you poser.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just saying one of the Narutos is called Sakura.
Yeah.
And the Street Fighter character, also called Sakura, is also in the game. And at one point they were both in the shop and it was very funny. It's two Sakuras.
Nice.
Very confusing. No, the new Narutos they added, they're supposed to be like the bad guys, but apparently one of them's not a bad guy. Everyone's saying, that's Naruto's wife. And I'm like, I don't understand. But, well, maybe
in actuality, 2 of them are not bad guys, and the third one's not really a bad guy either.
Did you look them up?
Yes.
Just because they are bad guys doesn't mean that they're bad guys.
Yeah. Exactly. Wreck-It Ralph. 316 Wreck-It Ralph. And they also added like the village in Naruto. You can go in and you can explore it and look around and do quests. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on, and I'm completely lost. But there are other people in the game with me that were Naruto skins, and I'm there with like a completely inappropriate like pancake man or something. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just looking around, just trying to get some free experience points. Don't mind me.
Why is this game really easy?
Because you grinded for like 10 hours.
Okay. I did it because I had to do it. And for some reason
I'm glad. I was kind of worried that like the last race or something, or getting there, I know we're not there yet, but like it would be crazy fucking difficult and we'd just be doing that for like 10 episodes. Right. So I'm glad that you're a bit ahead of the curve at least.
Yeah, it's good. I think in the last session I was being really bad at the game as well.
You would I swear to you, as someone who's watched it multiple times, I'm sure you have too.
Yeah.
All you did was...
No, it's not that I was doing lots of chases, it was just like the way I drove the car, I kept crashing all the time. And I'm like, I gotta do it better. I'm so sick of watching myself suck.
Could also be the handling of the car.
Yeah, well like the cars are now faster, it's much harder to control it. But I should just adapt my driving to suit the car.
Do you drive more than one car? I know you don't own more than one, but do you ever drive more than one?
So, since we started renovating the house, I've been driving a van more often.
Right.
And it's a bit of a spaceship, and I don't know how most of the things work. But
what does this button do? That's the accelerator.
I'm like, because I'm working on it with my dad, and he's like, just flash the lights. I'm like, what button is that?
That one right there that says flash the lights.
Yeah, I wish there was a button that said that.
I've driven my one car for so many years. I'm honestly afraid about driving any other car now. I'm just like, I don't know how I'll be able to deal with it.
When I had my big car crash, I drove a lot more cars after that. A lot of different cars.
I mean, that makes sense. When I was learning, like my driving instructor, you know, the cars are always slightly different. There's like, oh, I'll have this car for the day, driving instructor man. You're like, all right. And I got a lot of experience then, but like since I got my license, I've just been driving the same one car for years. Yeah. Never any different. And every now and then my dad's like, you want to drive my car? I'm like, I don't know, I can't. It's scary. Because my car it's got like no back and like a very short front. It's basically just a cube. It goes directly upwards. As a result, I'm like really worried that like if I try and park a car or something, like one that's actually got like a longer front or back, I'm just gonna scrape the whole thing off, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like I'd have those worries if I got used to driving one type of car and then had to move on to another type of car that had like a different kind of thing.
And every car has a different feeling. I remember my car, I don't know if people still feel this way, but people used to like it. And they used to think, oh, it's got good acceleration or whatever. All right, whatever. Well, like I had a friend who had a really bad car, and then they always wanted to drive mine. I'm like, all right, whatever. And they're like, I can't believe how crazy the acceleration is on this thing. I'm like, is it? Oh, okay. That's fair enough. And I just think about that. So if I ever drive another car, like just something as simple as the acceleration will be fucked up, and I'll just drive head first into a garage or something. I feel like I got to learn how to drive all over again.
That is what it's like when you're driving a car that you're not used to. Because some cars, the car I learned with my driving instructor when I first started driving, It was a much newer car to what I actually did my hours in.
Right.
And the car that I did my hours in was a heavy car with like heavy pedals, and the car I've got now is like that. But I have driven cars that are very light pedaled, like especially the brakes. In my car, I've got to really push on the pedal to. Well, it's not heavy to push on it, but like you do have to actually move the pedal a fair bit to get it to actually stop the car. In your car, I think it's very like eggshells, like it stops straight away.
You've driven my car, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you were one of the people actually that was like, man, this has got crazy acceleration. Oh, all right. It just goes quick.
Yeah.
Quick startup. Which is, if anything, I guess that's good. If I was to have another car that doesn't have crazy acceleration, that means I'm less likely to immediately just shoot off somewhere because I'm used to the eggshells, as you say.
Yeah.
I'll just try and maintain my car for the rest of my life. Instead of embracing the new, I'll just cling on to the old, clutch on for dear life. If my car breaks down, I'll just retire. I'll just never drive again. Although again, I still would prefer to drive than literally any other version of public transport. I know we've been over this before, but I don't know, man. I was telling you about how my dad, he just doesn't trust taxis anymore because he's tried calling taxis and they just won't show up.
Yeah.
And he has the same thing with Uber now. I don't know if I said this whole thing where he was telling me the other day, he tried doing Uber a few times and it was alright occasionally, but then like he's just had like one too many where he's like called an Uber, stood outside, like waited for them, and then like checked his phone. It's like, also your Uber driver has cancelled, by the way. Haha.
Is he choosing 5 stars and 4-star ones?
I don't know. I didn't press him for questions.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I've never really used Uber myself, to be honest. I've only had friends who use Uber around me, if that makes sense.
Yes, hello.
Yeah.
I'm in this photo and I feel like I'm being called out.
Well, specifically, I mean, like, I'm with someone, and they're like, oh, I'll call an Uber. I'm like, all right, you do that.
Yeah.
I'll join you, I'll pay, but
the one time I've actually tried to get an Uber, I didn't know what I was doing at all.
Right.
I use it every day for work.
Fair enough.
So that doesn't really work out.
What was that guy just sitting there for? It scared the crap out of me. I thought my tyres were going to pop because they can do tyre spikes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh crap, surely that's a tyre spike.
You said that you've never finished this game before. How far have you gotten? Like, have we gone past?
We've passed where I was up to.
Oh, okay.
Actually, not. But I have seen the girl we're up to, so I think I might have played a fair way.
Speaking of games, you guys been playing much recently? Video games?
No.
I've basically been playing one game for a while.
Don't say I'm Frank. I'll cut the call right now.
Recently playing Satisfactory with friends, and I've already done 64 hours into the game.
Oh my god. I completely forgot that game even existed. Isn't it just one of those, like, factory simulators where you just make treadmills and shit?
Yeah, you make production lines and everything to get more materials to slowly upgrade your equipment and everything. Kind of like Factorio, but 3D.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I found Factorio really boring to watch, so I don't know.
It's one of those games where you have to be like a sort of a technical sort of person to like those sort of games. I think I saw a little bit of it and I was like, yeah, nah.
I have like the bare minimum of technicality where it's pretty interesting to me, but I start playing it and I go, I'm a fucking dumbass. I don't know how to line up this shit properly. It makes me feel dumb when I play it sometimes.
Some games I like playing more than I like other people, than watching other people play it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Factorio and Satisfactory are definitely more interesting to play than you are.
I got really into Motorsport Manager, and I follow someone who did a huge series on it, and I haven't watched most of it. I think I watched the first episode to get an idea of, okay, this is what the game is, and then I went and bought it, and then I stopped watching the videos.
I'm kind of the same. When I say I don't watch these games, I don't watch gameplay, so I don't watch TF2 gameplay, I don't watch Fortnite gameplay, I don't do any of that kind of stuff, other than Northernlion, but I watch it for Northernlion himself, you know?
Yeah, our other friends, I was playing Raft with them, and they were like, oh, let's pick up Satisfactory, we'll start playing that.
What a leap.
whatever.
Raft to Satisfactory.
Well, raft's kind of the same thing because you're setting up your raft to be like optimized layouts for like the boat nets and everything, and then your production for your fuel and whatnot. And they were just like, yeah, it's just play Satisfactory. I've also put 6 hours into Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Been meaning to keep going back to
how's
it.
that?
So far, it's been enjoyable.
Okay.
It's kind of like you'd see in the comments or the reviews for the game. It's
I
a
haven't
step
read
up
any
from
reviews.
3, so that's good. Like the story and dialogue is at least better than 3 so far for me,
Okay.
which is it's a very low bar, but at least it's not as bad, right?
Right.
It's good.
Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of people thought that 3 just turned the cringe factor up just a bit too much.
Yeah.
It didn't bother me that much, but I think I just came to expect it, I guess. People at home may be aware of this, but myself and Aaron, friend of the channel, Aaron, we're both very big Borderlands fans, but I think that 3 put such a sour taste in our mouths, and just the whole controversy behind it and stuff, and the fact we weren't really able to play with each other and things for a while, that when they announced the game, like, I asked Aaron, I was like, hey, by the way, you probably think the same thing I do, but what do you think of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands? He was like, honestly, I'm just not even thinking about it. Like, yeah, me too. And then that's it. That's my entire my entire thing. I don't know what it is, just neither of us were interested.
I saw a review for it, and I'm like, what is this? This doesn't look like Borderlands.
So, here's the thing. There was a DLC for Borderlands 2 called Tiny Tina's...
Wasn't it just called Badass and Bunkers, the DLC, or is the DLC called something different?
The game that they're playing is called Badass and Bunkers.
Did the pre-sequel have a
Yeah.
Tiny Tina?
The pre-sequel did not.
It did not.
So, yeah, no. Well, basically, Borderlands 2 had a DLC that was entirely set in a D&D parody game,
Yeah.
effectively, and it was called Badasses and Bunkers, so B&B. And people loved it, right? It was this really interesting creative mix between like a medieval fantasy and the futuristic, gunplay of Borderlands 2. And it was fucking awesome. Like, a lot of people, including myself, would say it's the best DLC for Borderlands 2. Ever since they made that DLC, everyone was like, I would love it if they made a full game out of this. And they finally have, but I don't know. It's just too little too late, I guess. It's the same with the moon base idea. Everyone wanted a DLC for Borderlands 2 on the moon or on Helios. I forgot what the moon is called. And they were like, how about we just make a whole game? And then they made the pre-sequel. And people were mixed on that game. So,
I
don't know, it's weird.
It's my favorite one of the series, though.
I like it. I like the pre-sequel a lot, but people were still pretty mixed on it.
Yeah, I know people seem to see it as very negative, as like a percentage-based kind of thing. Usually whenever I hear anyone talk about it, it's always negative.
The thing with it is that everyone was like, it's just too similar to Borderlands 2 in that it just uses the same engine and reuses a lot of the assets and stuff. But I don't give a shit. One of my favorite games of all time is Majora's Mask, which is literally just same engine, same assets, but let's make a slightly different story. I think it's very creative and cool. Anyway, next time on Borderlands.